Okay.
Yeah.
Let me start.
Okay, good evening. And when Savantika started off, she said it's like an arranged marriage. So in any good marriage, you guys will realize, the husband stands on the side next to his wife and acknowledges whatever she says. So that's what I'll be performing.
Good evening, family. That is how we refer to our partners. We are the family. And as you are here, you are part of the family. I am Francina Tsotetsi, the principal of Enkangala Primary School. So when I was introduced to this PFP, there's one thing that came into my mind. I only saw donation coming. I only saw money. You know, it was that thing that, oh, I don't have grounds for my kids. So we are going to have improved grounds. I don't have furniture for my kids. So we are going to have furniture. But most unfortunately, it was more than that. It was a leadership transformational partnership. There are so many things that happened. So when I first met Ishmael, let me start first by saying, Ishmael, we are from Benoni. And as we were communicating, I realized that I frequented the street where Ishmael lived because my mother was a domestic worker there. So I even said to Ishmael, maybe during that time, I just passed you by, you were still a small boy. Right, so the challenges that I had as a school, it was parental involvement. My school is very small. We've got 520 learners. And before that, we had about 1,000 and something learners. That was back in the 1980s. But you know that there are new settlements, so people are relocating to the new settlements. So as a result, our role dropped. And at the very same time, I'm still talking about our stakeholder involvement. So the parents, they are not participating. You call the meeting, you can just imagine, I've got 520 learners, only 40 parents arrive for the meeting. And I had to continue with the meeting. And then after my partner came in, I said, you know, I've got a problem with parents. They don't attend the meeting. So I said, Francina, it won't hurt when the parents are here. Just organize tea and biscuits. And I started organizing tea and biscuit. And he even said, you know, it's winter time. If you have to do soup, if you have to cook soup and offer the parents. So as a result, there was great improvement as far as parental involvement is concerned. You know, now I'm talking, when I say the meeting is attended, I'm talking about 120 parents to 130. You can just imagine, from 40 parents. So that is a great improvement. Then another thing that we had, the challenge that we had, he said, it's the decreasing number of learners. As I've indicated, that people are relocating. And if you know how the location is organized, we were organized according to our indigenous languages. And at the end of the day, as the new settlements come, people relocate to the new settlements, and at the end of the day, now it's a matter of, let me make my school to be the best so that kids can come to my school. So during that time, Ishmael came in. We were submitting, we were giving the ECDs our admission forms to say, come to my school. So my partner said, but that is not enough. You need to visit them. We need to visit them. Give them some intense incentives to say, if only you can bring your learner at Enkangala, this is what you can get. So my role is slightly improving. We are improving. We are still on that path. And another thing that I had is, I thought that maybe it is the medium of instruction that is a barrier to my learners, because you know, in the township, the home language is the first instructional language from foundation phase. So I thought that maybe if we can introduce English as the medium of instruction from grade 1, maybe parents will bring their kids to school. But most unfortunately, it was not like that. So the only thing that we decided with my partner is that we need to have, to involve people who will help my learners with communication as far as English is concerned. And fortunately, while we were still there, somebody came, an NGO came to say, I'm offering you something. I come to the school, I'm going to teach your kids music, I'm going to teach your kids, I'm going to offer them extra classes. So that is how my school is helped. And another thing, there's one thing that most of those who have just passed by, they've mentioned that they've got a problem as far as being a leader is concerned. You find that most of the time you dictate to your educators. You want the best, but while you want the best, there's something wrong that you are doing. You want everything to be done in your own way. So through my partner Ishmael, that was also corrected. So those are the problems that I had. And then the second one. And then, what is it that I have learned? Number one, I have learned to be patient. I'm not a person who is patient. You know, you talk to me now, talk, then we are through. But I've learned to be patient through the meetings that we held. You know, when we have our meetings, it's a matter of the sitting arrangement. It will be us, the leadership, and the subordinates. But now that has changed. The cycle is the answer. Where did I learn about the cycle? From the PFP. And there's something that I like about that cycle. Everybody is involved. Nobody hides behind the curtain, because it's a matter of what do you think, what do you think, what do you think, what do you think? So nobody is left behind. And another thing, I've also learned tolerance. You know, sometimes it's a matter of, if you cannot do my way, if you cannot do it my way, then it's highway. It's either you do what I say, or it's just a conflict. So, and another thing that I'm taking home with, it's the listening skill. Thank you, Savantika. One of the partners mentioned that, you know, when it comes to Savantika, when she mirrors you, you can talk for 5 minutes. She would say every word that you have mentioned. So I'm also teaching myself, you know, I'm trying, but somehow I told you that I want that skill, and I'm trying to practice that, and I'm definitely going to get that one, okay? Right. Another thing, as I've indicated, the stakeholder involvement has improved. Teacher involvement has improved. As I'm saying that, when we hold our meetings, it's not the leadership and the subordinates. It's a round circle. There is no leadership there. There is no one who is hiding behind the curtain. And when it comes to the community involvement, I think Peter Block mentioned one thing, that he said changing the existing contents of the community. You can change the existing content of the community from deficiency to that of generosity. You don't need money. You only need willing people. You only need willing spirit. I was looking at the guys who were performing here. Any instrument used? Nothing. But if they can start performing at school level and or maybe for the community, they can have money. That was good. They can make it, they can even go to such an extent of recording what they've sung here. Boys, that was excellent. Keep it up. Okay. From my partner, Ishmael. My partner? I'm not yet through. From my partner, Ishmael, I've learned he is very supportive. Very supportive. So, and he is an organized man. You know, last time when we spoke, it was about, I think it was 3:30. And he said, ma'am, give me 15 minutes. I'm at the workplace. I'll be there by 1:45. It was a matter of, from Joburg to Davidton, 15 minutes. I wonder. Maybe he was flying. He was flying. And another thing that I've learned from my partner is that he's very systematic. You know, everything that he does, it's, you know, it's not a crooked ruler, it's just a ruler. Shoo. So those are the things that I've learned from my partner. And with my partner, the journey has just begun. The journey has begun. They say 1,000 miles began with one step. So that is what we are. We are going to be partners even beyond the PFP. Thank you very much. Over to you, my partner.
Thank you, Francina. And yeah, definitely it's going to be a journey going through. I don't think it's going to stop. And so I've put a few things up, and that was me in the corporate environment and sitting with the suit and the tie. You see, I don't have that today. But exactly that. So when, we were basically the guinea pigs for FNB, and I think Louise will testify to that. We were a group of about 10 individuals from FNB who were asked if we wanted to go into this learnership or this partnership or not. And Savantika and my group knows that my wife's a teacher by profession as well, an educator. So I put my hand up. Because regularly on the supper table, our debate is how inadequate they are as teachers. Okay, and I tell them, if you apply the corporate world, then it will work out. Come on, how difficult can it be? I do this every day of my life. I'm in the corporate world. I have a team, and how difficult can it be for you teachers? So exactly that's what my wife says to me, and some days she just refuses to cook as well. But nonetheless, the best thing I've ever done was get involved in this thing. And that has changed my perception. So believe you me, I'm not doing the cooking now, I'm lying. What effectively happens is I've totally changed the perception. And I was speaking to, I think, Mahmoud before this session today as well. And one of the things for me was, how do you bridge that gap between the socialist and the capitalist environment? In the corporate world, it's easy. You've got the carrot, you've got the stick. I'm in a leadership role, and my team doesn't want to deliver, or they come to me and say to me, listen, we've got a tight deadline, we're not going to make it. And my simple answer is, okay, we'll see what happens bonus time. It's running in the back of my head, isn't it? And when it comes to increases, and I go, yeah, we'll kind of think about it, eh? When it comes to promotion, it's like, you didn't put in the hours last week when we needed you to, did we? The difference is in the schooling environment, unfortunately, you as leaders don't have that. You don't have that stick or the carrot itself. And how do you actually get your people or your subordinates or your colleagues to actually deliver? It's love. There's nothing else but pure love for the profession. And this, I've seen through this program itself, through Partners for Possibility. I've seen that love come out. I physically witnessed that love and the passion that you envisage within yourselves to deliver on every day. There's no, believe you me, the pittance that you earn, and I know your salaries because my wife's there. The pittance that you earn, it's purely love. The government cannot justify paying you sufficient money. You are the people who breed future leaders. You are the individuals who make, by you sleeping on the floor, Julius, Regina, in your matric year, to those matriculants, you probably placing the foundation for the future leaders of South Africa and in the world. If we see where people of South Africa have gone to, I mean, we know of these names, Elon, the likes of those guys, the guys who have gone international, have started their bases here. We know where their bases were, and those were the roles that you played as individuals. From my perspective, what I've learned is I've learned how important your role is in society. I've learned how I thought that capitalism was the answer and the bottom line profit was an answer. I'm a chartered accountant by profession, and I look at the bottom line to see what's your profits. But I've learned that's not important. That's not the only thing that ticks on. I've learned that if you've got love in your heart, and you can deliver accordingly, and you can make a situation the now situation. When you can look at social requirements, when you can look at kids who are aspiring to learn and deliver and become something with their future, and you look at it in the now, and you can take that and groom that to eventually be a prospering flower and a blossoming flower down the line, then that's what your achievement is. When you have those goals and those achievements, then you can put on and say, listen, I've achieved. And that's your ultimate bottom line, not the one that I see that's in figures and numbers. The community and social cohesion, sure. You're not going to get that. When I went for the community, the community training initiative, I walked out of there a totally different individual. We do things in a very individual light. We do things very for myself. And until you don't get involved with the community and understand the importance of community itself, and you don't get involved in this, you'll never realize what that influence and what specific, what do you have engulfing over the community and what role do you play in that community in totality? And this program allowed me to actually take those learnings away. So just in closing, I want to say thank you firstly to FNB. I don't think we've got representation here, but it's on video.
I've been tweeting Joe.
Oh, have you? Okay. If I get called into his office and tomorrow, I know why. I'm on leave for the next couple of days. But thank you to FNB, thank you to Symphonia, thank you to P4P, thank you to Savantica. We've given you a lot of hassle. We've given you a lot of trouble during those COPs. I think we've taken the mickey out of you quite a bit. So thank you a lot to you, to my fellow family. And just on that mirroring thing, I just got to clear up something. Hubby, how do you deal with it? Please. Because a woman never forgets. So me alone with my wife, I'm saying, I said back, she goes, remember 10 years ago you did this here when we were still dating? And I'm like, geez. And she mirrors everything. So I mean, come on. That's not easy, but good luck. But also, no, I'm just kidding. It's that. So just it's an utmost felt thank you. And it came for time for me to give out this venue. I mean, I did a few checks, and it's been my absolute pleasure to say, listen, this is what we want to do, and this is if it's a small part that FNB could give back to US principals, to give back. It's a small little thing. So thank you very much for giving us and allowing us the opportunity to actually do this, Savantica. We're appreciative of that as FNB itself. And to everyone else, thank you very much. As I said, this is not the end of the road. This is the beginning of a journey. As my partner has mentioned, I think we've got a long way ahead of us. Okay, and I think we'll grow it from strength to strength. Thank you very much. I think I'm way over time. Thank you. Oh yeah, let me do my introduction. So I think we've been told to introduce Indumiso and Brahim. So I'm going to tell you a bit about it. So Brahim, the first day I saw him, he struck me as he walked in there and he held a presence. And when someone walks into a room and holds a presence, you actually look up to them and you're like, gee whiz, it's an individual to be reckoned with. And it was exactly that. When he said something or when he does say something, you'll see him speak out here. He has that presence that he holds. Until today, I respect him for that. He said he's retired. He is still retired. But he's taken his time out of his retirement to come give back to the community in this sense. And this is what he does. So Brian, thank you. He's an excellent man. But Indumiso, let me tell you about him. I haven't met a more humbler soul, a more gentleman of note. So and I see him, he's prim, proper, to the point, precise. I think he is married, ladies, unfortunately. Apologies. I'm almost certain you still open the door for your wife on a daily basis. I'm almost certain. It's almost, that's the type of individual we're referring to. And that's the type of person he is. And he can only be the best of principles. I can imagine that in school. So we were fortunate to go to his school. I was part of the crew. We went to his school one of the days as part of the COP. And although we were in a room filled to the brim because of a lack of storage space, I'm assuming, The amount of pride he had in that school and the amount of respect that he earned and commanded from his colleagues and his teachers that came to us on that day to interrupt and say we need an X or Y showed you the type of individual he specifically is. So for that, I've recognized that, I've noticed that, and I think you guys are excellent gentlemen. You'll obviously give us your oversight. Over to you, gentlemen. Thank you.